Yeah, y'all. So I'm about to jump into an interview with. So I'm about to jump into the interview right now with Intuit. As y'all already know, I already accepted my offer with Salesforce, but um, we gotta continue to execute my plan. If y'all been following along, y'all know what the plan is. But I gotta go ahead and jump into this shit right now. So I'm about to turn my webcam off and start showing my screen, or hide my webcam and show my screen. We ain't wasting no time. She still ain't on yet, so. But yeah, man. Like you never know. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity in Salesforce, if it fall through, um, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all again, if y'all been following along, y'all know what my plan is and what I'm trying to do. Um, so um, yeah, that's what this is about, and why I'm interviewing with Intuit still. I'm not really prepared for this
Hi,
interview,
Miles.
but we're gonna do it anyway.
Miles, can you hear me?
Hey, Amanda, sorry about
Okay.
that. Hey,
Oh,
how
no,
are you?
that's okay. I apologize for being a couple of minutes late. I got backed up on a call and had to jump over as soon as I could. But how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. I am good. It's been busy, but it's our end of quarter, so we're running around like crazy around here.
Okay.
so
Is it what's the fiscal year like at Intuit?
so we start July. No, we start August 1 and we end July 30th. So we're at the end of
Okay.
our third quarter right now in April.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's crazy, but here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to our conversation. Remind me who your recruiter was. Is it Amy or Tom
So
or none of the above?
so my recruiter was Tom.
Okay, Tom. Okay,
Yeah.
just trying to keep everyone straight. We have about four different recruiters, and I
Oh,
can't tell. They use a system, and it just says like Intuit Recruiting from the invite.
yeah.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, Tom's been really good, and I know I was um, out of town when we got going. But anyway, I'm looking forward to learning about you and your experiences. I know you've got a resume full of some really good experiences,
Yep.
and certainly want to make sure we have time to answer questions for about the role or the company. So,
For sure.
do you happen to have any net like connections here in the mid market, or did Tom just reach out to you?
Tom just reached out to me. Um, so I have
Yep.
some connections in the mid market, but he reached out to me.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's driving you, Miles, to want to have a conversation? Like, what's going on in your world right now?
Yeah. So um, right now, necessarily, um, or the sales leadership ladder, so to speak, is somewhat set in
Yep.
stone.
Yep.
And so I wanted to kind of make a pivot, somewhere else where, I was able to really come in that, um, ceiling. So
Have you
also I
been?
think
Oh, go
into,
ahead.
no, I was gonna say, and then also I think Intuit, you all kind of being at the center of financial operations for, a lot of different companies in terms of taxes and helping them manage their money. Is something that
It's like a spoken wheel. Like you've got to have the financial management platform in order to add all these other features and help the business operate. So
yeah.
we, what has your role been most recently at IBM? I see AI and cloud, but what does that mean? What have you been selling? Who have you been selling to?
Yeah.
Walk me through.
Yeah. So I've been mainly on the enterprise side. So both at PayPal and IBM.
Hmm.
I was focused on selling, solutions to AI solutions and cloud solutions to, payment clients. So at PayPal,
Okay.
I was mainly responsible for selling payment infrastructure, so API integrations, and then most recently at IBM, mainly selling cloud solutions, cloud infrastructure to enterprise clients.
Okay.
Um,
And
so my
have
motion. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Are these existing customers, or are you bringing in new ones, or is it a combination of the two?
Yeah, so it's a combination, really. So I would say right now, um, I would say probably about a 60-40 split. With
Okay.
yeah, most of the clients being, new logo hunting,
Okay.
and about 40% expansion.
Okay. All right. Well, good. What kind of quotas are you accustomed to carrying
Yeah, so most recently IBM, 1.5 million. Actually hit
for the year?
yes, for the year.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Actually hit 112% quota this past year in
Nice.
2025.
Congrats.
So yeah, I was excited about that. Um, and then PayPal is 1 million.
Okay. What were some of the things that you did or have done in order to make sure that you were on track to hit your targets? Like maybe some of the metrics or the habits that you'd built.
Yeah, so I think with me, really even coming into a new role, I kind of break it up into three parts. So first and foremost, I come in and really learn as much as I can about the ecosystem, and what products, the entire product suite that we offer,
Hmm.
and then really tagging along to sales reps that are performing well, and have been hitting their number consistently, and then from there, I start to prioritize my territory,
Yeah.
mainly focusing on, or at least initially focusing on, accounts that have already bought from us. So these are basically white space accounts,
Yeah.
and looking to map through the organization to identify additional use cases for different solutions that we can sell to them. And then from there, that's kind of tier A. Tier B is really, customers that necessarily haven't necessarily bought from us, but
Hmm.
they fit our ideal customer profile.
Hmm.
And so I'll typically, categorize that tier. And then lastly, net new logo. So reaching
Hmm.
out to, um, you know, uh, companies initially, really to educate them and really finding a point of view to enter the account, start a
Hmm.
conversation from there.
Hmm.
And then really, at that point, it's all about, you know, really communicating the problem, right?
Hmm.
Leading with a relevant problem that I believe they're facing. That always starts the conversation. I'm never pitching product, and then really helping to build that business case and take it from there.
Good. Good. Yeah. I see you've got the med pick, the value selling. There's a lot of experience there. Do you, do you have certain metrics that you hold yourself accountable to, like certain meetings or opportunities?
Yeah, yeah. So, really, once I start generating opportunities, I really measure my output, based on, about 200 to 300 touches a day.
Mhm.
That from there, I'm really looking to generate about 5 to 7 discovery calls a week.
Okay.
About 3 to 5 qualified opportunities from there,
Okay.
and then generating, anywhere from, you know, I would say 100 to $300,000,
In pipeline.
in pipeline per week.
Okay. Okay. So it's actually kind of similar in this space. You would have a portfolio of about 450 accounts. These are QuickBooks users of some kind. They could be QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop. There might be a couple of net new to Intuit accounts sprinkled in,
Yep.
but it just really depends on sort of what maybe a marketing campaign might be going on. But the majority are going to be people currently in the Intuit ecosystem.
Yep.
And our role is to, as I'm sure they told you, is to prospect and hunt into your portfolio.
Yep.
And these are primed, what we believe are primed and ready to outgrow QuickBooks. And of course, you're going to have the conversations to figure out if now's the right time, or they've got the resources in place, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
and build the value. But it's interesting because it's we're going to be talking to big accounts. We're going to be talking to smaller accounts. 10 million ARR and up is really our sweet spot. and you're going to act as a generalist. That means you're going to act in a lot of ways very transactional and move deals along fast. But
Yeah.
others will be a lot more strategic and enterprise ready. So what I'm
Yeah.
getting to, Miles, is this is a game of, yes, you'll have strategic accounts, but it's really about velocity. And we want our reps closing 1 to 2 deals a week, bringing in about 20,000 incremental. Our annual quotas are about 1.2 million or so,
Okay.
for the full year, but 1 to 2, and then you have to back into that. It's like you said, you got to make your opportunities, your meetings, your calls, and that means 150 or so dials in a week, um, 15 to 20 meetings that you're attending, moving along or creating 6 opportunities,
Yeah.
and of course adding the respective pipeline. And of course you could be a lot more efficient as you get to be more tenured. You may not need as many calls to get to your meeting targets or whatever,
Yeah.
but that's sort of the math right now. But tell me your reaction to that. Does that scare you? Are you welcome to hear that? I mean, like,
No,
walk me.
that's music to my ears, Amanda.
Okay.
Because when I talked to Tom initially, he
Yep.
made it seem like most of the accounts I was going to be working on were going to be just pure expansion. But from talking to you, it sounds like, and I'll say pure expansion. I
Yep.
mean, not only pure expansion, but for enterprise accounts specifically. But from
Yep.
talking to you, it sounds like we're going to be more like faster pace. We're obviously doing expansion, but also, really looking to, find those new logos as well
Yep.
and, close those deals much faster
It's
than I
yeah.
was
The
hearing from
faster we
him.
can do it, the faster we can move on to the next thing, and
It's even better.
and it we've gone through multiple iterations of what's perfect for this team, like what is the
Right.
perfect type of customer, the perfect skill set, and it really is starting to become it's working hard, working smart, of course, being able to ask good questions, run a tight deal cycle. It's just got to move fast.
Yeah.
You If you can move quickly and have a system that you stick to, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
It's just that if you come in and I saw this when I first started, most of the team had been hired already, and they were enterprise reps who were mid to late career, and they were just wanting their BDRs to hand them everything. It's like, well,
No.
that's great, but you're you have to go work for this.
Yeah.
And we had to really figure out who could make the next wave of how we looked at this team, and those who are willing to put in the effort are.
Driven business, right? Like it's a very
Yeah.
outcome driven business, and it's fast paced. And if you don't hit your number, you
Yep.
know you're out of there. Like you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
so yeah, definitely.
I mean,
It's always fast
yeah,
paced.
yeah. As much as we hate to sugarcoat it, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just that's
Yeah.
just being honest, about the situation. So, yeah, I definitely understand the fast paced nature, and that's what I'm accustomed to working in, over the past several years.
Intuit as well. Me.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Just trying to make sure it was
Okay.
okay.
Something. Yeah, I don't know if it's you or me, but something's seemed off for a second. Well, nonetheless, this company it acts like a startup in a lot of ways. Like, we are constantly changing our processes, looking at different tools for the team, growing your portfolio, shrinking your portfolios. I mean, all these things are changing, and it's almost like head on a swivel. There's so much change,
Yeah,
and I just want to be very honest that you have to have an appetite to deal with it. That's
yeah,
just people who have been here for 30 years have told me this is how Intuit operates. I've been here a year and a half, and it took me a little bit of time to get out of the shock of, wow, things change every single day. So
yeah.
anyway, how do you feel about that? I mean, how do you adapt to change?
Yeah, I mean, I really look at it as controlling what I can control and really
Yep.
embracing the change, right? So like if the company is changing a lot, then that's out of my control. So the best thing I can do is to just embrace it, and really lean in, and really pick the brain of people that have been there much longer than myself, and that have are hitting their number and are successful in their role, and really kind of shadowing them to figure
Yep.
out really how the company works, and just how it operates in general, so that I can set myself up for success.
Yep. Good. Good. And my last question for you, Miles, before we open it to yours, what would your colleagues say about you? Like, what are you like on the team?
Yeah, they would say I am extremely persistent, and
Hmm.
process driven. Those would
Okay.
be the two traits that I think definitely stand out about myself. I feel like when you are consistently doing the work day in and day out, and you're sticking to your process,
Hmm.
the results will come.
Yep.
That's how I've always approached sales, and that's what's worked for me, over the last several years. And then also, it's I also feel like sales is all about persistence,
Okay.
and the follow up as well, right? So uh, the deals are in the follow up. If I'm consistently following up with the customer, and staying on top of where the deal is, what our next steps are, what our
Hmm.
milestones are, aligning on the business case, then the deal will continue to move forward.
Hmm. Good. Actually, I have one other question. Did Tom talk to you about Atlanta office, like the hybrid schedule?
He did briefly, yes.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
did
It's
say that
three
there
days
was
a
a.
week.
Yep.
Yeah. We have a really good team in Atlanta, and
Okay.
they're very collaborative, very fun. They like to joke. There's hot desks, so there's not really you don't really have your own spot, but everyone reserves desks for each other. When I come in, I'm it's just the coolest thing because we've got our CAM team, our key account manager team like area,
Yeah.
and everyone's just trying to help everyone get better. And then we have contests, and it's fun. But yeah, it's 3 days a week. I don't really care the day, but depending on your direct manager, which your manager would report to me, you may have certain days that you're like, okay, everyone's going to come in on Wednesdays, for example. So,
Right. Right.
are you familiar with where it's located?
I'm not. I just was told that it was in Atlanta. So I haven't.
Yeah,
I'm not
it's in the
familiar.
old Fourth Ward near the. It's on the belt. I think the belt line?
The
Is that
Belt
what you call
Line.
it, or the
Yep.
green belt? I think. Yeah.
Yep. Atlanta Belt
The
Line.
yeah, it's near. I forgot exactly what it's called, but the old Fourth Ward is
Yep.
where it is. But it's a really cool location.
Yeah.
Really fun.
I'm familiar with that. With that location. I actually went to school like down the street
I
from
saw
there.
it Morehouse,
Yeah,
right?
Morehouse. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I went to school down the street, so I'm very familiar with the area.
Area, yeah. It's
And
just
I'm
exploded recently, so
Yeah.
that's good. Good, good. Okay, what questions do you have for me, Miles?
Um. Well, could you tell me, Amanda, a little bit more about, really the process, the hiring process that into it for this role?
Yep. Well, you had your conversation with Tom. You're talking with me now, and then the next part of the process is where we select candidates. We would have you do a craft presentation, which is a 1 hour panel discussion with two of the leaders who report into me, so two of your prospective managers.
Okay.
That presentation, we call it in Intuit terms A for A or assess for awesome. It's kind of funny, but that's what it's called.
Okay.
And you can use a PowerPoint or a slide deck. You want some sort of visual that's going to walk you through like who Miles is, like your own history. Like we want to see your personality. We want to
Okay.
see your work history and what you've learned along the way. We want to see how you break down your plan. Like how are you going to be successful? Like how do you think about like you were talking about the metrics or your 30, 60, 90-day plan, whatever that might be. There's some latitude there.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a role play where we're going to have you like pretend to sell our Intuit Enterprise Suite product.
Okay.
And that can always be fun. It can always be a challenge, but that's what we do as salespeople. So
Yeah.
and then our leaders would ask, maybe have a few minutes to ask questions. Usually it's as in a follow-up to something you've said in your presentation. They want to dig in a little bit further, which can be a lot of fun to get into more details. But it's
Yeah.
all in all, it's an hour, and then from there, we're generally ready to go. We can determine when or whether to move forward. So it's pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. That
Yeah.
sounds, pretty standard. So
Yeah, it's standard. It's it's uh it's something that it's not a gotcha exercise. The presentation, it's really great because you get to really highlight your history and think about it, and it would help you. Everyone refers to their A for A when they start. They're like, okay, this is what I did. It's almost like your roadmap to what you're going to do to get up and running.
right.
So the work's already been done. But we tend to have a lot of fun with these presentations.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty much the process.
Definitely looking forward to
Hmm.
that. Um, okay.
Yeah, and I was going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to recommend that you move forward in that process. I'll let Tom know when I talk to him. I don't know if it'll be later today. It'll probably be tomorrow because today's already it's already 3:30. And it's getting late
Yeah.
with lots of meetings. But I will go ahead and recommend that for you. He'll send you the presentation, and we would give you about a week to prep, and
Okay.
then you would go in and have that call virtually. It's not usually on site just because of schedules.
Okay. Sounds good.
So,
Sounds good.
okay. All right. Well, here's what I recommend, Miles. If you do have any questions as time goes on, as you're getting keyed up for this, reach out to Tom. He calls me all the time. I can certainly, you probably wouldn't need to meet with me again, but I can answer whatever questions that you might have. But just be on the lookout for something from him.
Okay. We'll do.
So, and if you don't hear from him by, say, today's Wednesday, by early Friday, just reach back out to him.
Okay. Okay.
So, excellent. All right. Well, go enjoy the rest of your week, and thanks for spending some time with me today.
Awesome. It was great talking to you, Amanda.
Great meeting you, Mike.
Alright, so y'all just saw, what that was about. Um, Obviously just had, the interview with Intuit. Um, she said she's gonna move me forward. So, making sure to prepare for like that worst case scenario. If anything, were to fall through with Salesforce. But yeah, man. Um, just wanted to get that on stream. Try to smile. I try to smile as much as I possibly can when I'm in these. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a pretty decent smile, so it kind of helps put the interviewer at ease and like see that like, you know what I mean? Like I'm a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. But when you have a nice smile and whatnot, like it can kind of put the interviewer, like I said, just makes them feel better about moving you forward. You know what I mean? Especially in a role like this, it's a sales role. Like I'm going to be interacting with people on a daily. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, man. Let me check something else real quick, man. It's already kind of late in the day. I don't really. That might just have to be it for today. Like I said, the interview I just had. I don't have much else to kind of walk through that I'm able to walk through today, bro. Because it's like, believe it or not, like it's just a lot of other shit I have to do that's not related to work at all. Um, it's kind of starting to piss me off because I feel like I wish I could just sit on stream and just like do what I need to do, but it seems like it's always some shit coming up. Like it's always something coming up that like takes my attention away from what I'm trying to do. Um, but yeah, there's some stuff I gotta do for Salesforce. There's some things I have to do for Salesforce, things like that before I start, and then I gotta go do some other things too. So anyway, man, um, like I said, that's what we're gonna have to. It's short ass stream today, super short today, but it's not y'all. As y'all know, man, y'all always gonna be this short, but it's gonna have to be this short for today. Um, and I will be back on tomorrow. You see, the boy just got a haircut. Um, and to think I was nervous going into this interview, into it. That shit was easy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking she gonna have me, like she gonna put me through the ringer and ask me some tough questions. Like that was easy. That's probably one of the easiest interviews I've been through in quite some time. Like that was by far one of the easiest interviews I've had in like I don't know how long. You know what I mean? The next one I guess is gonna be like the harder one because it's gonna be a panel. But still, you know what I'm saying? I thought she was gonna have some more questions for me and whatnot, like some tougher questions. But I'm glad that no real prep. And then we didn't have to prep for that one. I've done so many interviews. You know what I'm saying? We were able to just walk through that one. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man, I will be back tomorrow, like I said.